Hello friends, and welcome to another East German Army gear video. Today I have two magazine pouches for you in the Flächentarn pattern or Blumentarn. It's a couple of different names for this camouflage pattern. Officially in East Germany it was just known as the 4-color pattern, but among collectors it's usually called the Flächentarn or Blumentarn. Flächentarn would be like a spot camouflage and Blumentarn means flower camouflage. And if you don't know about this camouflage general history, the production of uniforms in this pattern started in 1957, and the uniforms were produced in a couple of different cuts until 1970. I think some people actually don't realize that for how long this pattern was produced and in use. So yeah, the uniforms themselves were produced until 1970 at least, maybe until 1971. I have seen claims about 1971, but I haven't seen any pictures of 1971 stamped uniforms. But equipment pieces such as this pouch for 3 Kalashnikov magazines, these were used by Volkspolizei and some other second line units until mid-70s, even though East German Army itself stopped issuing these late 60s already. The pouch for 2 magazines was dropped a bit earlier. It's perhaps a bit more rarer as well, probably because having a pouch for just 2 magazines is maybe a bit inconvenient. And as you can obviously tell, these magazine pouches are not really matching in the way they have been used. Like this pouch for 3 magazines is actually in better condition, but it's just very dark. Maybe it's just dirt or whatever, but yeah, it's very dark, but it's in better condition. Whereas this pouch for 2 magazines is, the colors are very bright and it's not so dark, but it's very used and it's in quite crispy condition, as you will soon see. And while these pouches were used together in this way, that you had 2 pouches, one for 3 and one for 2, they were worn on the belt in this manner. So you had the pouch for 3 magazines on the right and the pouch for 2 magazines on the left. You were also supposed to wear a bayonet here in the just next to the pouch for 2 magazines. I have a AKM bayonet here, East German. I didn't put it here because it will be a bit pain in the butt to try to fiddle with it around. Of course, you would, maybe the more fitting bayonet would be the AK-47 bayonet. I don't have one, unfortunately, but these magazine pouches were still used together with the AKM. The AKM came to use in East Germany maybe in about mid-1960s. Of course, before these, there was the short period where East Germany issued the SKS. They adopted the SKS in 1956. They actually produced a similar type of pouch for the SKS, where it has the similar kind of toggles. They were also issued as pairs, but already in 1960, East Germany adopted the AK rifle and then pretty much immediately started to produce these pouches. I have never seen a picture where an East German soldier would use Soviet magazine pouches, even though the first AKs that East Germany got, they were Soviet manufacture. But then, of course, East Germany started to manufacture its own version of the AK. I do not, unfortunately, have the correct suspenders for these magazines. Of course, here on the back side you have this loop where the suspender hook would attach. I have only this set of late 1970s suspender. This has the heart-shaped back piece, which is indicative of earlier suspenders. However, the adjustment on this one is just this freely adjusting hook, and it has this piece that loops around and just goes like that. In the old model of suspenders, there would be no, this end piece wouldn't exist, and you would just have this hook piece, and it would be adjusted by this in different holes on the piece of nylon here, so it would like hook into one hole and it would stay there, whereas this just, you can adjust this freely, so you can, if it, yeah, there. But yeah, anyway, I can at least demonstrate how it just works. So yeah, it would hook like this, and this is how you would carry it together with the suspenders. I do have the belt that is fitting for this time period. You can tell the type of belt from this, from the type of buckle. It has this shape here in the buckle itself, and I guess you call this the tongue piece. It's shaped in a similar way as the World War II style belts, that there is this large piece that has been folded and sewn here in like an U shape, and yeah, just goes like that. Again, of course, the later belts, you have like this. These pieces have been swapped around, so you have the ring in this end piece, and the hook itself is in the buckle. And that design is definitely better, because this just won't stay together if there's just like a bit of loose, and it opens really easily. But yeah, maybe we can just take a look at the pouches themselves now. So starting with the pouch for 3 magazines, it's quite a wide pouch, since, well, the magazines, I open these toggles here, which are surprisingly tight, at least when you're wearing gloves. Yeah, the magazines are in like a line, so yeah, it makes for a very wide but shallow pouch. I have one Airsoft AK-47 magazine here, and of course it's very curved, since the AK magazine itself is very curved. This Airsoft magazine is a bit shorter than a real AK-47 magazine. Yeah, you would have 3 of those. This pouch, I have to say, like, trying to get these magazines, so they really like to get stuck here. So, and of course, you have to sort of curve it in. Maybe not the most convenient design. Of course, the basic shape is very similar to the STG-44 magazine pouch of World War II fame. Yeah, here in the back, when you have it on the belt, it's actually, the top is like angled, and you have these strengthening studs here that have been, or rivets, I mean, that have been put here to make it a bit stronger. For some reason there isn't any rivets on the bottom, which probably would be very useful, because when you have 3 fully loaded AK magazines in the pouch, like, it's quite heavy and definitely could use some strengthening. The fabric of the pouch feels quite cotton rich, like it's probably mostly cotton, but it's quite thick. It's like double layered fabric, I think. Here on the inside it's just been sewn, the fold has been sewn like that. And it would seem that this exact pattern, like, well, the color is obviously very dark here because it's dirty, but this maybe be more of a mid 1960s pattern. Some of the earlier patterns, they are more, the colors are more darker, especially the brown and the blue are more distinct. Like, this is more muted colors, which is maybe more common in the mid 1960s pouches. Unfortunately, there's like a bit of rust in the metal parts. These things really like to take rust super easily. These loops at the back are, I would say, definitely cotton completely. And again, as with most other East German stuff, this pouch just absolutely reeks of the, I guess it's some kind of moth poison or whatever, like it smells absolutely awful. But yeah, still looking inside. We actually have a couple of stamps, but they do not tell much. We have, looks like 13, 12, then the middle part. We have to check beside the camera. Yeah, it's a 4, and here we have 12 upside down, and a 2. And the inside, there's this just plain fabric. Yeah, as I said, this pouch for 3 magazines was used for quite a while, and the NVA would usually issue the AK rifle with 4 magazines. So this would still work quite conveniently. With 4 magazines you would have 3 magazines in the pouch and then 1 in the gun, or if you had to have your gun unloaded, then you just take off your magazine and maybe put it in some trouser pouch or whatever. Yeah, that's the mag for pouch for 3 Kalashnikov magazines. And there actually was a pattern of this pouch for 3 magazines made in Flächentarn fabric, but that is exceedingly rare, and I have only seen a few pictures of it in the internet, and I haven't really seen that pouch in use. But well, pictures from the 1960s from Eastern military, they tend to be quite poor quality, so it's hard to say how common that was and if it was issued. But yeah, they made this similar pattern of pouch in Flächentarn fabric for a very short while. And here we have the pouch for 2 magazines, which is unfortunately in even worse condition than the previous pouch, but at least we can see the colors in quite clear way in this pouch. So we again have the ring for the suspenders at the back and 2 belt loops with rivets, and we have a rivet here in the middle and on the right button, and we have one in here too. So yeah, 3 rivets at the top and 1 for the suspender loop. And again, this opens with this. I just open these studs. Yeah, similar construction of the pouch. Unfortunately, this one, if it has had stamps at some point, they are completely worn out by now. And yeah, the rust has discolored the fabric, unfortunately, a bit. Yeah. Well, at least when I bought these pouches about 12 years ago now, like I got them for an acceptable price. I think this one was maybe 25 euros and the pouch for 3 magazines was maybe 20 euros. So yeah, for that sum, it's not too bad. I bought these pouches from Militaria for You in the Netherlands, and that shop is actually still around, but I don't believe they have these, at least this 2 magazine pouch. I don't think. Maybe they have the one for 3 magazines, but it's definitely more expensive now, since these have become much more rare and sought after. And yeah, this pouch for 2 magazines seems to be the more rarer one. It doesn't pop up as often as the one for 3 magazines. Again, probably because this pouch for 2 magazines is not just so convenient. Like having just 2 magazines on a belt, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Then of course this pattern of having this way of having 2 magazines was replaced by the magazine pouch for 4 magazines. Is definitely much more common This is a late type of pouch which doesn't have the suspender loop here at the back. These early or the earlier Flächentarn magazine pouches were, of course, the first one, as I said, was made in this exact cut. But then when they had the first pouches for 4 magazines, they also were, the belt loops were tilted, and there was the loop for the suspenders here at the top. And as a thank you for sticking on to the end, I'm actually going to show you how these appeared in the manual for motorized infantry. This is the first edition from 1963, and going to the section here about uniforms. Just trying to see it through. Well, you can see this gentleman here actually who has only 1 magazine pouch for some reason. But then when we go to the next page, there is this section for the Felddienst uniform or field service uniform. And here you can see it describes what you have on the Sturmgepäck or the assault equipment. There is the gas mask, shovel, canteen bottle, and 2 magazine pouches, 2 Magazintaschen in German. And Maschinenpistole itself is the AK rifle in this case, which was called submachine gun in East Germany for some reason, even though it's maybe the assault rifle with its World War II origin from a certain mustachioed dictator. Like maybe they didn't want to use that term, so they call it a submachine gun. Yeah, in 1963 you were supposed to be issued 2 magazine pouches, which were then these 2. We have a picture here of the Felddienst uniform, but unfortunately it's from the back, so we cannot see the pouches here. But you can see this cool uniform. Otherwise, you have actually the dude carrying both sets of the Sturmgepäck here, so part 1 and part 2. But yeah, I'm gonna save that for another video. And as I said, that pouch for 3 magazines was used for longer than one for 2 magazines. Here we have the 2nd edition for Motorized Infantry Handbook. And here actually on the list of equipment that you were issued, it says here Magazine für MPI. It says 4 pieces per man. Actually 2 magazines are to be stored in the vehicle you are using. But yeah, you'll be carrying 4 magazines into combat. And of course that would sort of indicate that you would be issued this pouch for 4 magazines, but there are actually illustrations in this book for different equipment for different members of motorized infantry. And here we have just MPI Schütze, so assault rifleman or rifleman, and you can quite clearly see that this here is a pouch for 3 magazines, and it would seem it's still the Flächentarn magazine and not the Flächentarn, just because it seems a bit darker than his uniform, which is a Flächentarn uniform, I believe. And yeah, I forgot to mention that this 2nd edition book is from 1966. Yeah, that's definitely a magazine pouch for 3 magazines. That is this one. Interestingly, you can see that he has the early type of gas mask pouch, which has the narrow shoulder strap, and he seems to have a Flächentarn canteen, and the rifle is still the AK-47, even though by this point these Germans had AKMs too. And here again you have, well, you have an RPK man, RPG-2 shooter who has no magazine pouches. No, the RPK shooter has this backpack for drum magazines. No magazine pouch yet on the front. That will come later. And this edition still has the RP46 heavy machine or medium machine gun. I think that went out quite soon after this book came out, so in late 60s. This was like a company machine gun, that's how they call it. It seems to have some backpack for the belts. And yeah, here we have the machine gun, or the secondary machine gunner, or his helper, who carries a spare barrel on his back. And yeah, he again has a magazine pouch for 3 magazines. That's probably enough about that. Thank you for watching. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.